Time to discuss Valentine details with friends? Grab a cup of joe here at Cafe Grumpy in the Greenpoint section of Brooklyn. Besides great coffee, the cafe is best known for its co-starring role on HBO's hit TV show Girls. This is the cafe where Hannah sort of works. I'm here with actual employees of Cafe Grumpy, Tinu and Liam. Thanks for talking with me. All right, so first off, this cafe is really popular from the HBO show Girls, right? Do a lot of people come in here recognizing it from the show?
Definitely, I think you can see crews of people kind of rolling, and you kind of get the sense they're, wandering around Greenpoint, checking out the locations.
People are a little bit more subtle about it because it is a little bit more of an intimate space, and nobody wants to come in and be like, so this is the set, like nobody wants to geek out that much.
You said that you were an extra. What scene were you in?
Well, I was in a couple. There's this scene where Ray comes in and talks to his boss about how unhappy he is in season 2. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm one of his coworkers.
Now, being young and Brooklyn residents, I know that you said that you lived in Greenpoint for a long time and you're also in Brooklyn. Do you agree with the show as it portrays young people living in this neighborhood?
I had a funny experience. I just started watching the show a couple weeks ago. I know, I'm late. And I was at dinner with some friends. We were talking about dating, and I was sort of saying I, made a resolution with myself not to date anyone under 25. And then they put that show on, and this character comes on who works in the coffee shop, and the first thing you hear him saying is, I've made a resolution not to date anyone under 25. So apparently, I'm exactly that show's demographic.
They probably stole that line from you. What do you think?
I think that it definitely has some truth. Anybody in their 20s just hustling in the city, you're bound to deal with those types of issues, whether it be finances, balancing lovers, balancing friends, and so that's what's so honest about it, and I think that's what is appealing as well,
Now, you're the head coffee roaster, right? So you met the cast and you taught them how to actually make coffee? How was that?
They filmed back here in the roastery, and I came through. I had to teach a character to look like he was roasting coffee, and they were great. They were very friendly.
Is it easy to make coffee?
It's easy to make coffee, but not easy to make coffee well. Okay. There's a lot to learn in terms of roasting and brewing and all of that. Yeah.
So you make the coffee, but you are all science of how to mix it, right? Is that what?
Well, I'm the barista, so once the coffee's been roasted and it's at the ideal date of roasting, we prepare it in the front, whether that be like a cappuccino or espresso. We're trained in learning how to bring out the qualities and the essences that Liam creates, so we bring them out in every drink that we prepare. And so hopefully every drink's a great drink.
Now, because this is Valentine's Day happening, I'm going to ask you some love questions. Are you ready? All right. Is love at first sight real?
I think lust at first sight is real.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you ever get customers in here that you like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely. Oh, yeah, customers. I've got a
customers.
lot of customers.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have to. Just,
Do you write your phone number on their coffee cup, when they go? You should totally do that.
I have never done that. New York, it's a busy city, so I try to keep it my life slightly separate. But every now and then, you can't help but smile a little bit harder at someone.
Girls and guys are trying to figure out ways to communicate with each other, and the number one way to communicate these days is through text message. We live through text message. So to talk to me about text dating rules, I'm here with Olivia Banishevitz, the author of Flirtexting. Thanks for talking with me today.
Thanks for having me.
So what exactly is flirt texting?
So flirtexting is a word that we created, and we call it flirting over text message, exactly what it is. And it's become the new first step in dating today.
So how'd you come up with this?
So Deborah and I, my co-author, we were sitting around on our couch and we just kept getting inundated with guys texting us, and we're traditional girls, so we always like a guy to pick up the phone and we're like, what is this? We don't want to have anything to do with it. And we just kind of ignore their texts. And we found ourselves dateless for a little bit, so we were like, all right, we got to do something about this. So we kind of took it upon ourselves to figure out how to date over text and still kind of keep on to the traditional courtship that we knew.
All right. So what are the number one texting rules for dating?
All right, so most likely you're out with your girlfriends and a guy comes up to you and gets your number. He's most likely going to text you. So what you have to keep in mind is you should always respond back to his text within 24 hours, because anything beyond that reads uninterested. I mean, today we kind of have our phones on us all the time, so like they're expecting a kind of immediate response. And the second really important rule is to basically pick up the phone when he calls. Like, don't forget that having phone conversations is also part of this whole thing. And a lot of girls just tend to be more comfortable over text these days because you have kind of more control over what you're saying and when you want to say it. So just know that responding back to his phone call with a text may come off like you're a little uninterested in him, which is not the message you want to be sending.
Okay.
Those first dates, just don't spend too much time on text because you don't really get to know that person.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything. The phone conversations, the in-person dates, little Facebook, you know.
Say I meet someone cute while I'm out, right? Is it wrong for me to text first?
Well, that depends. If you want to chase him or you want him to chase you.
You always want to be chased.
Of course. So you're kind of setting the tone for your relationship. So why not let him reach out to you and kind of court you instead of you reaching out to him, which is like, might as well wear a t-shirt that says, pick me, you know?
Are there different rules for guys and girls when it comes to texting?
You know, I don't think it's rules specifically, I think it's roles. So I think we just got to keep in mind that guys are the decision makers. That means they're reaching out to you and asking you on a date. They're making the date reservations and telling you where, you know, to meet up with them, and the girls should be the responders. I mean, I think it's more about just kind of keeping it playful and enjoying the banter, and if you ask me, I think the girls have it pretty easy.
Yeah, well, sometimes, I mean, you would know, like, when you get a text from a guy and they're, like, really short with you, and then you get all worried that they don't like you. That's not, it's just because they're just writing that way, right?
They're just dudes.
Yeah.
That's how they are.
Okay, that's good to remember. So how about that person who always texts you, but then they never follow up with their date?
I mean, I love this question because women always have this scenario happening, and I call these guys time wasters. They are just the worst.
Yes.
What they do is they're not interested in you, but they're keeping their options open. He's most likely talking to other girls, and you're kind of in the loop.
Yeah, and you don't need that. Ladies,
Yeah.
you don't need that. So on Valentine's Day, do you
Right.
text an ex?
Never. I mean, that is just your vulnerability of the day kind of getting the best of you. I mean, he's going to see right through that and know you might as well scream that you're alone and lonely and you want him back for just one day
you don't wanna do
because
that. You don't
no,
wanna do that.
it's the worst thing you can do. So reach out to a girlfriend and kind of send those feelings and bond over it. But don't reach out to any guys.
We learned a lot from you. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you for talking with me.
Well, thanks for having me.
Coming up, spending Valentine's Day at home? We have the flicks to create the romance. And later, find out the do's and don'ts for gift giving. Stay with us.